Okay, so I found 3 Teslas over the last 7 years. Not all at once, but 2 for the last 6 years. 2014 Tesla Model S, 2019 Model 3, and 2020 Model Y. They have all had issues. Not a lot of issues. Never had an issue where I couldn't drive the car. Car mostly drives itself. So I figured I'd just make a video because you're asking me issues I've had. The Model S. Let's see. The window motor thing broke because every time you open and close the door, it goes up and down. It was a really old car. Basically, bought a replacement, put it in there, and it goes up and down, good to go. That car had air suspension, which the other cars do not. So one of the airbags in the strut went out, which is basically air ride or whatever. So I replaced the strut. I have a lot of coughs today. What else? Oh, they redid our road with the dirt road, and the old charge ports were a lot more open than the new ones, and a rock got stuck in it. And when I went to go fix it myself, I broke the charge port, so then I had them come out and replace the charge port. If I didn't do that, they probably could have just fixed it by taking the rock out. But then I wouldn't have been able to drive my car for like a few days because I couldn't charge it. So, yeah. But maybe if I would just drove it to the service center that day, they would take the rock out and it would have been fine. And then I replaced the battery on that with a lithium battery for the little low voltage battery that lasted the 7 years I had that car because it needed to be replaced right when I got it. But if you do the lead acid ones, I also changed that in the Model 3. I think they last normally 3 to 5 years, something like that, just like a normal car. And they're about $100, not a big deal. And then the newer ones don't even have lead acid batteries, so that's gone on newer models. Okay. The biggest problem with the Model S was it was a rear-wheel drive car, so all your acceleration and braking happened in the rear of the car. So it would wear the rear tires out really fast. So basically, I got in the habit of just put on 2 tires, and then if I thought they'd wear out by the end of summer, then I'd leave them on there, leave the fronts on until the end of summer, and then just replace the 2 rears. Because if you swap them and then they wear out and then they're all bald before the end of winter, basically I tried to like maximize good tires in winter, and I don't really care if they're almost bald in summer. Just got to be careful on the water. But that car was like, rear tires would wear out in like 8,000 miles. The fronts would last 40,000 miles, which was really annoying because I guess you can rotate them, but it's just, I went on a long road trip. There was probably 0.3 of 1,000 tire depth, and then when we get to our destination 2,000 miles away, they're basically bald. So then I had to replace them on the travel, which that was when I first bought the car, so I didn't know that. Anyways, I fixed that problem. You just get an all-wheel drive car and don't drive like a psychopath. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all the issues I had with that car. So nothing really major, just minor little stuff. But that's a very old car. That's a 12-year-old car. They've like basically changed everything in the car since then. The 3. Oh, I forgot about rear half shafts click. And that's happened on all the cars, but it's this little tiny click, and it's basically like the rear drive shaft, and they can grease it, and then the click goes away. But I just don't care anymore. In a gas car, you probably wouldn't even hear it because it's a little bit louder, but the car's so quiet, you hear this little, and you really only notice if the window's down. Little tiny click. I don't even care. My cars do it now, and it's only if you really hard accelerate. If you just drive normal, it doesn't click. But it's just where the coupling meets, and they grease it, and then the click goes away. Okay. Moving on to 3. I guess for all of the cars, S3Y. Brakes, you need to grease the brakes and clean them every couple years. When I say grease the brakes, not the pad, the part that rides, that moves, there's just a little bit of grease you put on there. And you probably don't have to do this. I didn't know this for 3 or 4 years when I first owned my car and never did it, and it was okay. It just helps the life of the brakes. Now in the S, they probably needed to be replaced. I had 195,000 miles on the car when I sold it, and it probably needed new brakes and rotors. But they didn't need to be replaced because they were worn out. They need to be replaced because they're not worn evenly. So then you just get uneven wear and little shakes and stuff. But I just didn't do it because I didn't drive the car super hard. But if you're doing performance driving, you might want to replace them or have nice ones, and then, or whatever, do more advanced brake stuff. The 3, this car has 140,000 miles. Moving on to that, its brakes are pretty bad, but I have driven this car pretty hard sometimes, and that was at 20,000 miles, and I haven't replaced the brakes or the pads. And again, it's the depth is good, but they're just kind of unworn. The rotor's all spotty, so then you don't get nice stopping power. But all 3 cars are probably the best stopping cars I've ever had. Now, I haven't driven a lot of newer gas cars. I'm sure brake technology has just gotten better since the 2000s. But the 3 is very impressive with how fast it can stop. Talking about problems, not good things. Okay, 3. PTC heater, probably number 1 problem. I replaced it myself. It was $800 for the parts, and then remote service remoted in and reset the car, and then it's good to go. But it's kind of expensive. Basically, all cars that are newer than 2021 got rid of the PTC heater. They're all gone. They've switched to a heat pump. So no more problem if you're buying a car newer than that. But if you have an older car, that's something to look at. It's not something I really worry about. I mean, if you have to do it every 5 years, it's just because it gets hot, cold, and mine happened when it was minus 17 degrees out, and I turned the car on full blast heat when it was fully charged, which, just rapid change from that minus 17 degrees or whatever it was to full heat. The things expand and contract, and it breaks over time. It's just a part that wears out, kind of bad design. But new ones no longer have that. Model 3, what else? Other problems. Oh, that's right, there's no other problems. Oh, upper control arm has a little squeak. But I have a special grease gun with a needle. Stab it in the top there, pump a little grease in, squeak goes away. And that only lasts a few years, and I've been doing that for the last 4 years. The first time it happened, I went to Tesla, had them replace it, and then it started squeaking after 25, 30,000 miles again. And when you drive the car straight, it doesn't squeak. It's when you turn, and it's just little squeaks in quiet cars are really annoying. Because it's quiet. So that, PTC heater, and that's it for the Model 3. Now there's a lot of issues with the car, like, for instance, somebody ran into me and it had to be repaired on the highway, had to get 2 new doors. I put accessories in the trunk and shorted out the battery, so I had to reset it. So I kind of have tinkered with it, and I've hit stuff in the front, so I had to replace one of the parking sensor things. The windshield had to be replaced because it hit rocks. So stupid stuff like that, but I wouldn't say that's like a design flaw or an issue with the car. That's just me being dumb. Okay, Model Y. Let's see, list of issues. Well, it's so long. All right, there's none. But I've only had the car for a year. We've driven it 40,000 miles. The car wasn't an accident when I got it. Still no issues. It looked like it was just a little accident in the front. The middle seat. There's like a middle seat that goes down. So the back seats go down. They fold down. And the middle seat can fold down separately from the back seats, if this makes sense. Like you can fold them all down, or you can fold just the middle piece down. And the latch for that did not work. So I took it all apart, and it looked like the little cable was just not hooked in. So I hooked it in, put it all back together, and now it works. It's almost like it wasn't done at the factory. Some people probably never even put the seat down. Just depends. I have car seats, kid car seats, so we never put the seats down. So I think I owned that car for half a year before I figured it out. Because it's like, and I was just curious what the latch is, and now it's actually kind of annoying because Beckham always puts the middle thing down, crawls in the trunk, and hides and plays games, which it's kind of cute, but it's kind of annoying. Yep, that's it for the Model Y. I put a hitch on both. Expanding on issues that I've created. I put a hitch on the Y3. Y, no problems, great. It's like 3,500 pounds tow rating. Tow lots of good stuff with it, great. I've probably maxed it out one time. The 3, I've maxed out a lot because it's like 1,500 pounds, and so a lot of times I'll tow 2,000 pounds on my 1,500 pound trailer. Yeah, I push limits, I guess. But I don't want to buy a giant trailer that I can't store. Anyways, my rear window has a crack in it, and that happened right after I installed the rear hitch and put a bunch of weight on it, and I think it just like torqued the body and created this. It's a little crack in the corner, and if I pointed it out, people would see it, but you wouldn't even notice it. So yeah, that's just my own dumb fault. This car's been driven into the swamp. Still works fine. Yeah, she's been abused. Took her out west off-roading and probably hit too many rocks on the bottom. A little worried about the battery and stuff. No problems. Still works. I wasn't driving it hard. Now, if you drove it hard and whacked some rocks, you'd probably have a bad day. Wow, this video is already 13 minutes. All right, that's the end. Goodbye.